What's up, you damn gorgeous and beautiful gamers? Welcome back to Role-Playing Games. This is Mariel Corner in the internet, where we like to discuss about RPGs. If you like the content, if you like to have these conversations with Mariel James, I'd very much like to invite you, like always, to hit the like button, because it really helps me like you have no idea. Also, most of the people that watch my content are in fact not subscribed to my channel, so what are you waiting for? In today's video, we're going to be speaking about more Plague Weapons review. In this case scenario, the Miasma Tentacles, or I actually not remember the name of this thing. It's this thing that you see me using right here. It is very goddamn powerful, and before that, let me show you how to get it. One amazing thing about this weapon is that you can get it early, very early on in the game. You can max it out really early in the game. All you have to do is, well, we have three different levels in Thymesia, the Sea of Trees, the Royal Garden, and the Hermes Fortress. Every time you complete a side quest for each specific level, a new one is going to be unlocked. After you finish all of the side quests for the Sea of Trees, you're going to fight against the mutated Odwar, this guy. Every time you kill him, he's going to give you plague weapon shots for this specific weapon. The amazing thing is that you can kill him as many times as you like without having to worry about moving on in the game, progressing in the main game, and you can get this weapon very early in the game, which is very goddamn strong. If you farm against this boss, you will be able to max out this plague weapon and use it throughout the entire playthrough without having to worry about getting any more plague weapons. So that being said, let us speak about what does this plague weapon do. So it is the Mutated Tentacles. The basic action is that it grows tentacles on the back and do a combo, a 3 combo attack and a smash attack. The 3 combo attack deals 200% attack damage plus 200% amount of wounds. Smash attack deals 200% attack damage and 200% amount of wounds. If you see the animation right there, you will notice that it attacks like 4 times, which is essentially like 800% damage with this thing, which is crazy, amazing. It's just beautiful and gorgeous. Even more than that, beyond that, if you press the X before the smash, before the attack gets I believe, I do not know well the timing, but it's essentially you can keep pressing X and X and X, and you can keep casting this thing, although you do need to have in mind that you're going to keep consuming your energy. So that's why you want to keep, as you can see right here, I was able to cast it 2 times before I run out of energy. One thing you do need to have in mind is that the more you upgrade the weapon, the less energy is going to cost, as you can see right here. At the final level, it's going to cost 60 energy, which ideally maybe a decent amount of plague, a decent amount of energy, you will be able to cast this thing 3 times. Although one very important thing to have in mind with this weapon is that more often than not, in most of the cases, with basic regular enemies, I wouldn't use this thing with basic regular enemies. I would say that this is overpowered, that it is indeed broken, but when you're fighting against bosses. Because one thing you need to have in mind with this weapon is that it has hyper armor. And with basic regular enemies, as you can see right here, it only takes 1 cast for me to deal with them. You can actually also deal with their claw damage bar on these enemies, so you don't actually have to worry about that much. One important thing is that it actually takes quite a while for you to recast. It has quite a long cooling time, but these are just regular basic enemies. If you use them, if you use your tentacles against the more complex and harder enemies, it will still be viable. It will still be so goddamn powerful, as you can see right here. I mean, take a look at that. You can just keep spamming this thing and you won't actually have to worry about anything. Another important thing with this plague weapon is that it has some kind of AoE. If you have your enemies in front of you, at some extent in your point of view, like not in a complete 360 degree angle, but if you have them in front of you and you have many enemies in front of you, more often than not, you will be able to take care of them. One advice that I have to give you with this plague weapon is that one thing that I like to do is just run around the enemies, gather them up. Whenever I see that there's way too many enemies, I gather them up, and then I can just cast a single time, and with that single cast I am going to be able to deal with them. Now, especially against bosses, this is a very efficient plague weapon because, like I said, it has hyper ammo. Although, if you are going to be using this plague weapon specifically, I would advise for you to completely ignore as much as possible strength. You actually do need strength because it scales from strength, it scales from the base damage and amounts of wounds. But also, you need quite a lot of energy with this plague weapon. So I would advise for you to take talents that give you energy, plague energy back. Like, for example, on the Claw 3, we have this one, Energized Claws, level 2. Whenever Corvus deals damage through claw attacks, more energy will be restored. And I would advise for you not to take this because mainly your main means of dealing damage to enemies is going to be plague weapons. I also advise that if you're going to level this thing up, this is for another specific build that I made. This is not a build that I made for this specific plague weapon, but if you are going to indeed be using this plague weapon, I would recommend you to focus opposite to what I am doing here. In here, I am focusing myself on strength, because my main build is focus on strength and using my main weapon. But if you're going to be using this thing, focus yourself on play, because it's going to give you more energy, and it's going to allow you to deal more claw attack on this thing, and it's going to keep it even. And as you can see, it deals some kind of damage to it, some kind of claw damage, but it's not nearly enough. So I would advise you for you to place more points into energy, to be able to cast it more often, and also to be able to deal more claw damage into the enemies. That being said, if you find the information useful, if you like the video, liking the video is super appreciated, and remember to subscribe to the channel before you close the door. Remember that I don't want to tell you today that you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Have a beautiful day, and I'll be seeing you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. Goodbye.